my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Good afternoon, England fans, and welcome to the annual national event known as Everyone is Angry at Tuchel Day. Thomas Tuchel has named his England squad for the 26th World Cup, and within 30 seconds, X has exploded, and so has Josh. Arsenal fans are confused. Nick's just said that. Liverpool fans are saying, what's happened? And there's even one lad in a pub in Stoke somewhere, having a pint, saying, I would have taken James Ward-Prowse. You already know what's happened. One player's got picked, nobody expected. 3 players got left at home, and somehow Jordan Henderson is still being talked about in 2026. England fans are acting like the country is collapsing because someone picked a left back, didn't make the plane to America. Meanwhile, Tuchel sat there like a bomb villain thinking, I do not care about your fancy football team. And let's be honest, no matter who got picked, England fans still complain. And as an Irish fan, I can hear the complaints from over here. If Palmer starts, Foden fans get angry. If Foden starts, Palmer fans get angry. If Rashford gets picked, social media melts. If Rashford gets dropped, social media melts even more. This squad announcement has caused more drama than Love Island. But today on this emergency podcast, we break down the big calls, the shock omissions, and the players lucky to be on the plane and ask the question, can this be England squad finally bring football home in 2026 after 66? Or is Nick, Jess and Josh already preparing the apology videos after the quarterfinals? Welcome to the podcast. And this is an emergency podcast. Yes, it is all about England. And as from an Irishman, I can sit here quite happily, giggle all the way to the pub tonight because I just find this all very funny. Joining me, of course, my usual co-hosts on the podcast, Jess and Nick, and a new addition, a special guest to the podcast. It is Josh. And Josh, I'm going to start with you. Welcome to North London Talks Football Podcast. How are you, sir?
Oh, good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, it's always a pleasure, and I love working with you, even though when you do slide down your chair and just show your hand. Josh does. There's one thing about Josh. He does sink quicker than the Titanic, but that's for another stream and another thing altogether. Joining me, Jess and Nick. Anyone asking where Stacey is? So she's at the minute on the way to London to give Tuchel a right rollicking for the England squad she's picked. So we will be getting an update how she gets on with that. Nick, how are you, bud? It's a great day for an England fan, but for an Irish fan, I'm really loving this. I'm finding this so funny. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, well, hello to Josh and Jess. Hey guys, hello to everybody in the chat, and thanks for the invite, Dermot. I mean, the squad's the squad. There's always gonna be something. I think there's a couple of bits which we'll get into, which makes it a joke. When's the Irish squad being announced for the World Cup?
The under 17 World Cup squad will be announced around September time.
Okay,
the under 17.
Yeah. See,
I don't know you've got cheated when you weren't even qualified.
You've had
Look, you have
under
actually. We have qualified for the under 17s World Cup. Believe it or
I'm
not.
qualified for this one though, Derm. I don't know you got cheats to laugh at England. You're not even there.
I know.
digging deep
Yeah,
there.
but it's my prerogative as an Irishman to laugh
He
at
didn't think
England.
it's through, did he? He's like, oh yeah, damn it.
I tell you one thing. I do want to very quickly, Jess, how are you? Welcome to the podcast again. How are you this afternoon?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you for having me again.
It's always a pleasure. I love doing shows with you. Love talking football with you. I tell you, you and Jess, you and Stacey are the most knowledgeable football fans actually I know on YouTube. So anyone says they don't know what they're talking about, me and Nick can justify they do, don't they, Nick? You can back me up on that one.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing about football, this is the thing that pisses me off a bit, and just really quickly, when we follow a club, no matter what club you follow, it transcends age, race, sex, orientation, all of that sort of stuff. If you wear the colours, you're of that group, right? And anybody can represent that group. And you know, those sort of comments are just like Neanderthal, mouth breathing, move on already. You know, Jess and Stace are top notch.
I totally agree with that. I know Josh would back that 100% as well, wouldn't you, Josh? Absolutely. Very quickly, I want to start on this before we get into the squad. UEFA are changing the qualifying rules to qualify for the next European Championships and the World Cup. So going down the Champions League route. Guys, how do you feel about UEFA changing it to a Champions League style format where it will be a league phase? It'd be like the Champions League. The top so many teams qualify automatically for the World Cup, and then the next section qualify for playoffs. But it'd be like England in the Group 1, and they could play, you know, Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, Spain, Italy. It's all about not having the small teams playing against the big teams. How do you feel about that, guys? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Anyone can go first.
I think it's a mix, because what you don't want, see, this is the thing. Say, for instance, Moldova make it through, right? Because they're playing small teams, and then get absolutely humiliated at the World Cup. But then they might do themselves proud. It's the beauty of the World Cup that they get there and they compete, and it's a very, you know, so you don't. We're British. We vote for we kind of root for the underdogs, don't we? And so there's that beauty to it, but also, is it a wasted spot? It doesn't feel like you're there on merit. It's kind of like, I'm a little bit mixed on it both, to be honest. I can see it both ways. The Champions League format for the international, if it was kind of like you play so many teams out of each pot, that then does mean the lower teams get more games against each other and increases their chances like everybody else. Depending if you play them home or away, you could do it that the smaller pots all get their games at home, so you could balance it out. Does that make sense? So rather than sending them on the away games to the big teams, they're at home to the big teams, hence increasing their chances. I'm a big fan of all, so if it's not broke, don't fix it. So
I mean, Josh, how do you feel on it, bud? Would you change it or would you keep it as it is?
I think keep it, but it does give the smaller teams more opportunity. But
Mm.
as you say, they could get through and then take a World Cup spot and then get humiliated. So it makes it more competitive. But I would say keep it because it doesn't feel like anything's wrong with how the qualifying system is right now for the Euros and stuff.
I mean, Jess, how would you? And they're going to change the Nations League as well, so there's going to be major changes. Did qualifying need changing for international tournaments, Jess, or do you think it's good? It's worked for the last 70 years. Why change it? Do you think a change is good?
I see it from both sides, doing for the smaller clubs. I do understand it, but like Nick says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think it works nicely how it is, to be fair, but I do understand it from the other side of the coin that it does give smaller nations that opportunity. But me personally, I just keep how it is.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Well, look, it hasn't been voted in yet. It will be voted in September. But what I'll do is I'll get once more information comes out as a podcast, we will discuss it and see what people think. I think from an Ireland point of view, I think anything that makes it easier for us to qualify for a major tournament, I'm going to take. So if this is better for us qualifying, then fandabidozy, I'm taking it. Big up the Carly says Ireland did make it. Declan Rice is in the squad. Very funny. That treacherous little git. As I said, look, he's found an easy route to go into major tournaments. You know, he didn't stick by like Roy Keane did. Roy Keane stuck by us. A lot of players stuck by us. And, you know, Jack Grealish is Jack Grealish. Stumble out of nightclubs at 5 a.m. Keep that going before Sunday, please. I would love that. Big up Dwayne Bonner. At least they've qualified for the group stage. I've got yeah, very funny. I knew it would be coming. Big up to all. Big up to Daz as well. Big up to Thomas. Are the Welsh there? No, they're not. The Welsh are at home with us as well. Big up the Welsh. We'll sit and cry together. Big up to Wayne Bonner. Big up to Daz who's sticking Jess's link in. Please do get over there. Big up Daz. Big up Carl. I heard Ireland have asked to start on 10 points while everybody else. Yeah, that is true. It's going to happen too. Big up to Jess. Big up Jess. You didn't have to do this. Thank you so much. She's gifted 2 memberships. Right. I don't know who's got them because I'm not logged into my thing. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll find them. I'll get the guys talking, and then I'll come back to you who got the podcast. I think Scott's got one as well. Big up Scott. Go up and big up Jess. Yeah, big up to you. We've got big up to There Is To Do. See, I can read Latin, guys. You didn't know that. Afternoon, lads, and I'm shocked Spencer's in the England squad. We are going to talk about that. Yeah. Afternoon, Italy didn't qualify, did they? No, for the 3rd World Cup as well. And do you know what? Josh was a little bit disappointed because he was looking forward to spaghetti bolognese he was going to get when we send him to America to cover Italy's World Cup squad. Yeah, he wasn't happy when I told him he wasn't going. Bless him. Big up Daz, big up Stacey. Ask me later about England. Yeah, let me know how you get on with Thomas. Big up to you. Big up to DJ Samuel as well. Dermot's admiration for Declan Rice is unquestionable. Yeah, that is so true. I'm never going to change. Still the treacherous little git. Happy Friday. Big up to Guy from the Lane. Here to drop a like during my lunch break. Big up to you, so really appreciate it. Who else is coming in? And then I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, big up to everyone saying hello to everyone. Big up to Sky. Big up to everyone. Wayne says, Ireland never should have sat. Very funny. Right, let's move on. Right, this is the England World Cup squad. So we are going to talk about the goalkeepers, defenders, and midfielders, and then we're going to move on to the strikers. So in goalkeepers, we've got Dean Henderson, James Trafford, and Jordan Pickford. Josh, I'm going to let you talk about the goalkeepers pod. Let you put Jess on the top so everyone can see her. Nobody has to see me.
Leave me at bottom.
Josh, I'm going to sort of Josh goalkeepers. Are you happy with the 3 goalkeepers he's picked, mate?
Yeah, I think it's the obvious choices. So the other options haven't played much. Like Pope and Ramsdale shared minutes, so you can't really pick them. But the other 3 have I'm not. They've deserved to get in there with what they've done for the clubs. Yeah.
Would you have picked anyone else, or do you think they deserve their spots? Do you think, like a Trafford or Pickford?
Yeah, I think Trafford's obviously had limited minutes because of Donnarumma coming in starting, but what he's done in the cup finals when he started and pulled off like amazing performances and goal, he's deserving of at least making it. I don't think he'll play much because he'll probably be third choice in my opinion behind Henderson and Pickford. Pickford starting, but I think just youth to bring him in. There's no other really option that you could take.
Just to widen up to bring the rest of the panel in. Look, for me, I would have thought Jordan Pickford would be number one, but Jess and Nick, do you think he might go with a Dean Henderson? Would you pick a Dean Henderson number one or Trafford, or are you happy with Jordan Pickford as your England number one?
He's not going to change it now. Jordan Pickford is England number one. There's no conversation. It is what that is his pick, and that's who's going to start. He's never let England down, has he?
He does have his moments. I mean, Jess, do you have confidence in Pickford as England number one, or would you have picked a Dean Henderson or Trafford to take his place?
No, I think Pickford really speaks for himself, doesn't he? I can't lie.
Right,
I'm going to go to a tournament anyway. I mean, I do think he's got potential, and I do rate Henderson as a goalkeeper, but out of the three, I think Pickford they're just there in case there's any injuries to be blown. I don't know why we have to take three with us, to be quite honest with you.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that is a question. Would you have just taken two?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
And he was a player. Yeah. Well,
Trafford's still going to play, so.
And I took Pickford and Henderson and brought in another player, outfield.
Where would you go with that? Midfield, defender, striker? Who would you have picked the extra player from?
Midfield.
Yeah, great.
Interesting
area.
Now, Jess, defence. He's picked Dan Burn. Jed Spencer, Tottenham. Yay, we've got a player going to the World Cup. Big up, Spencer. We've got Kasuna. We've got Gerald Kwashiorkor. I'm brutal. Kwanzai. We've got John Stones, Mark Geary, Nico O'Reilly, Reece James, and Tino Leverminto. So a couple of Newcastle players in there. Are you surprised to see the likes of Spence and Byrne in that World Cup defender? And why do you think Tuchel's picked them? What's your reasoning, do you think, behind that?
Look, Trent didn't make it into that last squad, so I was a bit surprised to see Jed Spence, no disrespect to Jed Spence. Not only Jed Spence, by the way, John Stones has played 4 games all season. We're going on sentiment there all of a sudden. Livramento's very injury prone, I can't lie. But I was a bit shocked with Jed Spence, I can't lie. I know he's versatile and can play left and right, but I thought he might have brought Trent in, I can't lie. I wouldn't have took Stones, I can't lie. Livramento's very injury prone. Reece James is injury prone. I think Gahey's a good choice. O'Reilly's had a good season. Konza's done well for Villa. And Dan Burns there for set pieces in here. I can't see him starting, but he's always somebody to shove up top if things aren't going our way, in my opinion.
No, Nick, your thoughts on the defenders, bud? I mean, Jess is right. Stones is a surprise. So is Jed Spence and Dan Burn. Reece James hasn't played much this season either, but there is players, Nico O'Reilly, who's had a really good season at Man City this year. What's your thoughts on the defenders he's picked?
I think Konza, when he's worn an England shirt from the games that I've been watching, has done well, to be fair. Mark Gay is the first centre back on the list for me. John Stones, I've got this whole squad. He's made some really big choices. He's left out Maguire, who I would have taken. There was a couple of squads a squad that I felt Maguire didn't deserve to be included. This one he did. And where he's made those hard choices, he's kind of undone or kind of flown in the face of that logic when he's included certain players. Because there's quite clearly certain players that should not be in this squad. yet he's made the hard choices on others that we'll get to, which just makes the whole selection a little bit weird. It's about making at left back. Is he hoping Spence, I guess, or Livramento? Because Livramento's left and right. Reece James is our right back, right? Nico O'Reilly. Will he start with Nico O'Reilly? I don't know. So, what do you think, Jess?
Yeah, I think he should start O'Reilly. I can't lie. But hasn't O'Reilly played more in midfield? Hasn't he played a bit further forward for City this season?
He's played a bit. I think a couple of games in midfield. He's like a midfield just off left back. I think he's preferably a midfielder, but he's been slotted into left back. He's done a good job there.
It could be our first. I don't know who he's going to go with, either Spencer or O'Reilly at left back. Because the thing about Livramento, he can play both. James has got to be our first choice right back. Is he hoping Stones and Gay in with Konza as the emergency backup?
Yeah, maybe.
I just think it's a massive risk taking Stones. I can't lie.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, what's your thoughts on it, bud? Somebody did put in here the back four what it should be, and he big up to Darius to do. He says Reece James, Quaddy. I'm going to have to get my teeth.
Kwanzaa,
Geary, and Nico O'Reilly would be my starting back four. I mean, Josh, would you agree with that?
I think I would. Maybe Kwanzaa had a good season, but I would say Konza is a Kwanzaa. I do think Kwanzaa had been good for Leverkusen, but Konza's whenever he's put on an English shirt, he's never really disappointed. But
I agree with three of those. I do agree with three of those. I do think Nico O'Reilly is probably the strongest left back. Reece James is definitely the strongest right back. Mark Gay, because he's been in form all season, it's just who's going to partner him.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing, isn't it? There's no really standout centre backs you think that is leader. I mean, if you were to pick a captain, look, we know Harry Kane is in the squad. We know that's forgiven and he's captain, but who do you have as your backup captain? Is there anyone there in the centre-back role? I like my captain to be a centre-back. So is there anyone there you think can act as a backup to Harry Kane's
Reece
captain?
James, maybe? Konza, Reece James. I always maybe Stones. I like my midfield. I don't mind my midfielders being the captain because he can ball out both ends.
Declan Rice for me.
Yeah, that's who I would be looking to.
Can't lie.
Right, looking at the defence, last question on this, and then we move to midfield. I can't understand why he's bought Dan Burn and Livramento, to be fair. Look, Jed Spence, I sort of get it, and I'm not talking from a Tottenham bias point of view, but he can play left and right. But I do agree that Trent Alexander should have gone because I think he's a better defender, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, but he hasn't had a good season for Madrid. He's only had, I think, 5 assists for Madrid this season, and he's been very injured. And I know Tuchel is not keen on him. He's not.
No. For me, I don't see Trent. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I've never thought of Trent as the better defender. He's better going forward, maybe.
Attacker.
Yeah.
Maybe a winger. I wouldn't have played him as a defender, but I might have took him at midfield instead of Henderson.
Midfield or winger. He's better attacking than defender.
But that is your defence. Dan Burn must be absolutely over the moon going to a major tournament. I'm pleased for him in a way because I think he deserves it. He's spent all these years up at Newcastle. He's won a league up there. He's played well, and to bring him on with 10 minutes to go, I think would be a great shot for Tuchel. But do you know? I mean, you guys on Dan Burn, do you think he deserves his spot, or do you think he's sort of taken it away from Maguire, who probably does deserve to go there?
Yeah, I would have leant towards Maguire because I like the idea of the last 10 minutes. If there's anything that you need, you stick Maguire up front with whoever, and you're playing the Reece James, Declan Rice, Saka corners into him. But then Burn can get on it too. So yeah, maybe he has to. Oh no, I reckon Joe. If I'm being honest, John Stones has taken Harry Maguire's spot. Not in talent, because John Stones is the better defender, but in the fact that he's only played 4 games this year.
Yeah. It's just I just find that some of these decisions in mid defence is really baffling. I must admit, not from a fan looking from the outside in, I just find these baffling. Midfield, of course, you've got Declan Rice, you've got Eze, you've got Anderson from Forest, Jordan Henderson, the biggest shock, I think, as well, along with Jen Spence. You've got Jude Bellingham now. There was a lot of talk. Will Bellingham go? Won't he go? He plays very much, as you were saying last night, Jess, the same as Harry Kane. So he's been picked. We've got Kobe Mainu, which I think is a great choice for personally. I think Mainu is a fantastic player, and Morgan Rogers as well. I will go with Nick first because this, I did say the midfield, and then I'll open it up to the other guys to get their thoughts on it. Very quick, Nick, your thoughts on the midfield picks?
I think Declan Rice, Elliot Anderson is what people are expecting with Jude Bellingham further forward. You've got Morgan Rogers that can come on, Kobe Manu that can come on, Eze. You've got game changers there. The only one that I don't see as we all know it is Jordan Henderson, and I hate all of this. Well, he's going to leave the dressing room and this, that, and the other. I'm sorry, you're taking the agency away from the rest of the players you've picked. Declan Rice does not need Jordan Henderson holding his hand. Anyone who thinks that, you're off your trolley. Nor does Elliot Anderson, nor does Kobe Mainu, nor does Jude Bellingham. They're not looking up to him saying, "Oh, we're a bit nervous here, mate. Guide us through." So Jordan Henderson, there are so many other, like Adam Wharton, there's other players that are far more deserving of this spot than Jordan Henderson. And the fact that he's there, I said last night, I'm pretty sure he's probably got nudes of Tuchel and he's holding him hostage.
I mean, Josh, there is no Palmer, there is no Foden, there is no Wharton. Are you shocked?
I'm not shocked with Palmer or Foden because they've not deserved to get picked this year because of how poor they've been this season.
Yeah,
and the only thing that would make them get selected would be sentiment value for England. What they've
Gibbs
done
White
recently.
must be thinking, "What have I got to do?"
But it doesn't matter sentiment value. We need players who have actually been playing well, not sentiment value.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I do agree. I mean, just Bellingham has been picked. He hasn't had the greatest season with Real Madrid. He's been quite controversial as well. Some of the things he's done, and he hasn't set the world alight. There's a big expectation on this young man, isn't there, to be the man to light up this World Cup. Do you think he might light it up, or do you think he should not have been picked? What's your views on Bellingham? Because he has the talent. I just don't know why he hasn't produced it.
At Madrid, though, on it, to be fair. It's been a tough season for a lot of players at Madrid. I'd have took him, I can't lie. I'm in agreement with these two. It's just Jordan Henderson for me. That's a bit baffling. That's another sentiment thing. Same as Stones, it's just sentiment for me. I don't see him starting, and I'd have took Wharton. I can't lie. As a backup, I would have took Wharton. Henderson, how old's Henderson? 35, 36?
Something like that. Do you think Harry Kane might have any feedback into I want my leadership group there?
Possibly.
Well, if he's telling the England manager how to manage England, then there's something
that's a problem. That's a problem.
That is a major problem.
I'm not saying he is, but I'm just trying to find, like, we're all kind of scratching our heads, and I know that them two are part of the leadership group. So
I think Tuchel has his favourites, if you want me to be honest.
Yeah, well, most managers do, don't they? I mean, if you're going to make the hard call of dropping Palmer and Foden, and that is a big call, and dropping Maguire, that is a big call, only then to include Jordan Henderson, it's like, mate, what are you doing?
If you look at that midfield, right, against a Spain or a France or a Brazil or an Argentina or a major team, Jess, do you think that midfield lineup there is the best midfield? You know, can it beat a Spain, a France,
Yes.
or an Argentinian midfield?
Yeah.
Mm.
There's a lot of quality there, Derm.
Yeah.
It's just how they deal with it, how they
Yeah,
play.
So
absolutely.
who would your midfield pick 3 be then? Take it is a 4-2-3-1. So
Rice, Anderson, and Bellingham for me.
Josh, what would you go with, bud?
I'd probably say
Nick?
Rice, Bellingham.
Yeah, I already said I'd have the if we're doing a 4-2-3-1, Jude Bellingham is playing that sort of central 10, ghosting off of Kane into the box, because when he played further forward for that first season in Madrid, he done a lot better. So that's where I think he needs to have that little bit of freedom in the centre of the pitch to kind of make those runs. And then we need to put whoever we pick up front, because it's going to be Kane, and whoever we need to put runners either side of him, and Jude Bellingham to run beyond him, because he doesn't always put in that sort of performance.
But I think Eze's had a better season, right, than Bellingham. I think he's had a better season.
Different type of game, different type of player, though, isn't he?
I know, but you've watched him. He plays for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is he an impact sub, Eze, or is he more of a starting for you?
Impact for me. I think not taking anything away from him whatsoever, but I can't see Tuchel not starting with without Declan Rice and Anderson. So I think they are nailed on, and he will go with Jude Bellingham, maybe Morgan Rogers, because he's been using Rogers. But let's say he goes with Bellingham. I can see your Morgan Rogers, you may need to freshen them up at the end of the game, when you might need to take either Declan or Elliot Anderson off to revitalise the engine. And your Morgan Rogers and Eberici Eze, they're going to be the ones that you're looking to change the game for you.
Josh, of course, you're a massive Man U fan, so Manu would be wrong of me not to ask you about Kobe Manu.
Yes.
What would he bring to an England midfield, do you think, Manu? I like him. I'd love him at Tottenham. If I'm being honest, I think just him, but
I think just
he's not going to play the Championship, though.
Funny.
I think just
Carry on.
I think just composure on the ball. Really good in tight spaces. They played futsal when he was young, which is why he's so good in tight spaces. Just composure, and we've seen this season when he's been brought back in, when he's been part of Casemiro, he sort of stepped in and sweeping it sometimes. So I think mainly just composure. Just how composed
and
he
you,
is
Jess? Yeah, I agree with you actually in that. And Jess, is there any player that you think, like Elliot Anderson or Morgan Rogers, who've done well at the respective clubs this year, do you think they're players that this could be the making of them?
I think Elliot Anderson, his stock's pretty high anyway, and Morgan Rogers, to be fair. Villa have already said if they get an offer of about 100 million for Rogers, they're prepared to sell. I do believe Henderson's going to leave Nottingham Forest. Where he goes, it looks like Manchester City done it. So I think their stock's high already. And Morgan Rogers has been good for England, to be fair.
Yes.
I rate him. I do like him. Good player.
So Jess, who we're picking as goalkeeper then? Before we move on to strikers, who's your number one then?
Goalkeeper, Pickford.
Yeah, Pickford. Okay. Pick the fullbacks, Jess. Who's your fullbacks in defence?
It's a tough one. Ask Josh.
Right, Josh. You go for the. I'll come back for one centre back from you, Jess, and one centre back from you, Nick. But who's the fullbacks for you, Josh?
It's a toughie. I would say O'Reilly and Reece James.
Yeah.
Okay. And then one centre back for Munich.
Gay.
And you, Jess, one centre back for you.
Konza.
Right. Okay. So are we doing a 4-2-3-1? So if we do, then a centre back, one midfielder for you, Jess. Who's that? And who starts for you?
Say that again. Sorry, Dan.
So you're playing a 4-2-3-1. So who do you pick as your first midfielder?
Declan Rice.
Okay. You, Nick?
I will go Elliot Anderson alongside him.
Okay. And Josh, who do you pick in that, playing that sort of 8-10 role?
I'll say Bellingham.
Okay. So at the moment, we've got Pitfield in goal. I can't remember who the fullbacks were. I can't remember who the back four is.
O'Reilly James, Konza Gay, Declan Rice, Anderson, Bellingham.
And then we've got Rice, and then we've got Anderson and Bellingham. Right. Okay. Now, the forward lines, the biggest, actually, there's some massive calls in here, Jess. Anthony Gordon, we've got Saka, Harry Kane, of course, captain, Ivan Toney, Marcus Rashford, we've got Maduke and Ollie Watkins. Jess, let's get the elephant out of the room. Ivan Toney. How shocked are you to see him in an England squad, and why do you think Tuchel has picked him?
I was quite shocked to see him get picked. I said that on yours yesterday when it got announced.
Yeah, you did.
Not that he'd been. I suppose playing in Saudi, he's acclimatised to the heat. I know what he was saying in his press conference. He scored 30-odd goals, but we are talking of the Saudi Arabian League, which is not high quality, in my opinion. I think he's played something like 3 minutes under Tuchel, so I was a bit surprised at that one, I can't lie. Maybe he's an impact for Harry Kane. He'll be second behind Harry Kane anyway. But yeah, another interesting call by Tuchel.
And also with Ollie Watkins, Rashford as well, Jess.
Rashford's been good for Barcelona. I'm not going to knock Rashford. He's had a really good season there. Madueke, I'm shocked at. I can't lie.
Same.
Yeah. Look, Nick, you got like Anthony Gordon, who could be, I think, on his way to Bayern Munich. That hasn't been announced yet, but that could be the port card for him. You've got Saka, who's had a good season for Arsenal. I mean, Saka's the one that surprises me because Saka's more of an, I think he's one to come off the bench with 10, 15 minutes to go to give you a little bit of probably pace if you need it. But with Ollie Watkins, do you think he's ahead of Ivan Toney to be Harry Kane's second in command sort of thing?
I think he has to be because he's playing in the Prem and he's doing it in the Prem. So for me, when you're looking at it, Harry Kane probably picks himself, and depending what performance we get out of Harry Kane, and if he's making an impact on the defence, that's when you're looking to Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney. The good thing about Ivan Toney is not only do we know that he can do it at a Premier League level, he's rested, and he has that confidence in a striker in himself. You know what I mean? That sort of slight arrogance that a striker needs when they get on the pitch. So I would say he's got that about him. Ollie Watkins is definitely the backup to Harry Kane. Marcus Rashford has to start on the left over Anthony Gordon. I respect Gordon. I like Harry squares up a striker and takes them on, a fullback and takes them on. And I do think Madueke is extremely fortunate. And Saka is the logical choice for right wing, but is Noni Madueke enough of a backup for him, considering that we did have the options in other people like Gibbs White that can go out there and others. So we're praying that Saka's going to be fit and making an impact, which is he struggled to do that. He hasn't had a great season at Arsenal. It's been a could do better season at Arsenal, if I'm honest. And Madueke even more so because you need that end product. It's up front that we've struggled, and two of them have made it to our forwards. So they could, and this is the thing, they haven't played. They've been out for large parts of the season at different times, so they could just click with. That's what we're waiting for. For Saka is without doubt the guy's class, and he's got all the ability, but he just needs to click and start reaching that top level again. Who knows? World Cup, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, Josh, look, Marcus Rashford. You know more about Rashford than most of us because of his Man United. He has had a good season at Barcelona.
Yes.
Any other strikers that we haven't talked about? Maduke, we haven't talked about as well. Anthony Gordon. What does Anthony Gordon and a Rashford bring to an England forward line, do you think? And Chelsea player as well. What do you think they bring to Tuchel that why he's picked them?
I think Rashford just brings just pace, just speed, running at defenders, and just that pace and power. But Gordon as well, driving at players. So I do think they bring similar qualities, but I think the right hand side's more the issue. Because in terms of, I think Saka's a dead certain, but I'm not sure about Madueke. And I think the options on the right hand side for him to get picked has been a bit uncertain this season in terms of form of other players, which is why he's had to get picked.
Yeah, no, I probably agree with you on that. Then just look, if you're going to start with a front three, who do you put on the left? Who do you put on the right? Because you know Harry Kane's going to play in the middle. So who is your front three going to be?
Kane, Rashford, Saka.
Interesting. Nick, where you going with it, bud?
I think a good argument can be made for Gordon on the left, but I'm going to go for Rashford. You know, he's went out over in Barcelona. His confidence is going to be up. He hasn't had the most intensive of seasons. Kane's in the middle, and I would always start with Saka, and then if that's not working, then you look to the bench.
Yeah,
but Saka
Josh,
is clear of any other option.
Yeah, no, I agree. Nick, where you going with, bud? What's your front three?
Josh,
me. I would say so. Rashford, Kane, Saka.
If you look at that squad just as a whole, right? And I asked you the same question, so it's probably yeah or no. Is that a squad that could win England the World Cup?
No.
So, how far do you think England will get? Where do you think they're
quarterfinals? Quarterfinals for me, Dan.
Interesting. Nick, same question to you. Is that a squad that can win the World Cup? And where do you think England will get to?
Could it? Yes. I know that sounds crazy, but and the reason why I say that is because these guys compete in the best leagues in the world against the top teams, and they come out on top regularly. Will they? No. I don't think they will, but could they? Yes, they've got the capacity to. I think we can see probably another semi-final. We've done well. We've been semi-final finalists. You know, it's not. I've seen superstar teams not do it. You know, I don't look at Argentina, and I don't think Argentina look world beaters. I don't think Brazil look world beaters. I think France leave a better squad at home than most people take to the tournament, but they've got to gel and do their thing. Portugal, if you have a look at that Portuguese team, there's a lot of good players there. Spain are going to come again. Germans don't look spectacular, but they never need to. They always perform. Why not? You know, it's all about controlling your emotions and delivering on the pitch. If they get that, they can go far. But no, I mean, I think semi-finals probably where we tap out.
Right, Josh. Is this a squad? Same question. Is this squad to win the World Cup, and where will England go to?
I don't see that squad winning the World Cup, and I probably see quarterfinals.
For me, look, from a fan looking the outside in, I don't think this is a squad that's going to win you a World Cup. I'm sorry. I don't think it's good enough. I think he's dropped too many. He's brought in players I don't think should be going to a World Cup. The likes of an Ivan Toney, the likes of a Jordan Henderson, for me, Dan Burn. Look, I'm going to be biased and say Jed Spence does deserve, but have there been better fullbacks this season? Yes, in the Premier League. So I think he's lucky he's getting to a World Cup. I just think Tuchel here has picked a squad that is manageable for him. And I think that's it, isn't it? It's about managing the squad and managing the players that are there. You're away for 6 weeks. It's going to be a long tournament and players are going to get bored. And he's picked a squad, I think, that can interact well with one another. You look at French squads during the years in World Cups, they've fought with each other. They fell out the Dutch as well. I know people are going to laugh at me for saying this. I think if England get a good run and get confidence, I think you can get to the final.
Okay.
If it all worked out.
I've got a question for you all.
I just one thing. Yeah, go on, Nick. Sorry,
I was just going to ask, just quickly. It's an English squad, hugely Premier League based. What side do you think they're going to mimic in style closest to? I think they're going to be closer to an Arsenal style. I honestly think this is going to be a bloody derby tournament. I don't think we're going to play Manchester United, Villa sort of wing play fast. I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be closer to Arsenal style of football. What do you guys think?
Yes.
So basically, you're saying, Nick, is right. Basically, they're going to be hoping to get VAR. Use that quite a lot to get into
absolutely. Set pieces.
Yeah. Bore us to tears. That me and Jess will probably fall asleep at 12 o'clock, probably doing the watch along when we're doing the England ones, and probably fall asleep. And then wake up and there's a VAR call in injury time. Is that what you're trying to tell us, Nick?
Absolutely.
See, there you go.
There's always a style that they mimic, right? There's always that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and I remember getting frustrated under Sven-Göran Eriksson that we used to run down dead ends and all of that sort of stuff. And I'm just trying to look at it, and that's what I'm decoding right now. What do you think this team's going to deliver? And if we're doing a 4-2-3-1, which is most likely what we're going to be doing, he's going to be using I think he's going to be using a very similar system. Because if you've got Rice, Saka and James, then you are looking for set pieces, particularly loading up with the big boys and all the rest of it. I do think it's going to be that sort of football, unfortunately, for England.
Yeah. I think now, Jess, this is England's World Cup group. They've got Croatia, Ghana and Panama. If they do win, they will either play Ivory Coast, Saudi Arabia, Norway, Algeria or DR Congo. If they win that, they're playing Mexico in the round of 16. Cool. Then your quarterfinals are Brazil, Argentina, and Spain. If you win your group. I mean, if England do win the group, does that sort of think quarterfinals? Is that why you think they will get far? Because the quality of teams are going to get tougher and tougher, aren't they? And it is a very long tournament.
I think we're better than Brazil.
That's a good shout, to be fair.
You think you're better than Brazil?
Yes, we are. Not. That is not a great Brazil side. Tell me who's your superstars, Dan. It ain't so ludicrous.
There's not many.
There's not many.
There isn't. There's about
compared to recent squads.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're still bringing Neymar at 34. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he got picked yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, but now he's injured and he's got a thigh strain or something. So yeah, it's interesting, that one.
So us versus Argentina, I take that.
Can you beat an Argentina and a Spain? Because Spain have been pretty good.
Spain's the last couple of years. I mean, France is, for me, the team, and Spain.
Mm.
Portugal, I don't know how Portugal's not on this because they are going to be they're packed with the PSG players and others.
And Ronaldo.
Well, less so, that's less of an impact now. But yeah, Brazil and Argentina don't scare me this time round. They really don't.
Good. I hope Romero gets sent off within the first 3 minutes and then pulls a hamstring and then he's out for the World Cup. Sorry. But Jess, do you think that if England win the group, does that change your mind then about England get to a final? Does that change your mind?
No, because that group is winnable. They should be winning that group. Croatia, Panama, they should be winning the 3 games, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whether I can see them getting past Brazil. Not so sure on Argentina, I can't lie, and it'll be a tough ask to beat Spain.
I mean, Argentina, of course, there's a lot of history. And can I just say there's a great documentary coming out on Disney Plus in the next couple of weeks about the 40th anniversary of the 1986 World Cup quarterfinal against Argentina in Mexico City, where both team players actually meet up and talking about that game. For me, I was a young lad. I was a young kid. I was 9 when that game happened, and it's no secret. Everyone knows I'm a massive Maradona fan. I think he was the greatest footballer that ever. I think he's better than Messi. He's better than Ronaldo. I think he walks past the players of today. But it's going to be worth the watch. So I think it's out in the next couple of weeks on this. It's called The Match. So do watch it, and it will give you a bit of an insight to the history between England and Argentina and why that game was more than a match. It was something else because of what happened a couple of years previous to that, and why it all goes back to '66 with Rattin and him refusing to leave the field with England beating 1-0 on their way to win the World Cup. So, and also it's 60 years, isn't it, since England last won a World Cup? So with the 6th in the year, could it be England's year this year? Who knows? Who knows? If England finish runner-up, Josh, they would play Colombia, Spain, Belgium, France, and then face Argentina in the final. Jess has already said they should be winning the group. But would you, if this is your run to the final, would you take runners-up for an easier run?
Maybe, but if I get through to round 16 with Spain, which
semi-final chance,
it's going to be a hard one. If we get through that, we're definitely better to get definitely good enough to beat Belgium, but then we meet France in the semi-final, so it doesn't get harder. So it doesn't get any easier.
But I'm saying, you said runners-up. If you beat France, that means you've got through to the final. If you beat France, you beat Argentina. That's that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've come runners-up, you're not getting past Spain. Because you're not playing good enough.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Josh, same question you, Jess. Would you take runners-up with that route to the final? Or are you still adamant they've got to win the group? They're going to win the group. I'd rather take the first section than the second section to the final if England got there.
I think they need to win group. I don't see them getting past Spain in round of 16, do
No.
Yeah.
That's interesting, actually. That really is, because I think, look, I would have thought a lot of people would have taken this, but Spain have been good. What, just very quickly, and I am going to go down the line on this. What's your thoughts on the new World Cup sort of format now, with a round of 32, round of 16? Has it devalued? Hello, Nick's gone. Has it devalued the World Cup to you a little bit?
Well, they've increased it with teams that are in it. No, for me, the more the merrier. I like watching all sorts of teams. No, it's good that it's been expanded, to be fair. There's more teams in it. It's what it is, isn't it, Dan? But, you know,
it is. It is. You, Josh, I mean, I've watched a lot of World Cup. My first World Cup I can remember is 1982, and that Brazilian side is probably the greatest Brazilian side I've ever watched in my life as a young kid. what that's a question I was going to ask at the end, but what was your first World Cup, Jess? Sorry, I'll go back to it very quickly. Actually, it was very rude of me not to ask. What was your first World Cup you remember?
1998 France.
Wow. God, I'm feeling old already. Josh, what was your first World Cup? You're going to say something like 2002, 2006. What was your first World Cup?
I remember. Maybe the Russia World Cup one. I don't know. I have no idea.
You're making me feel really old now.
I don't
Please,
know.
Nick, help me out here.
Well,
Please tell me you remember the 86 World Cup at least.
Right. So I have memories of 86, more of my family watching it and all the rest of it, but I was only 6 years old. It was over my head. My first proper World Cup would have been Italy 90.
Oh, that World Cup. The first year Ireland qualified for a World Cup and reached quarterfinals. That was a great World Cup.
David Platt and all of that. Cameroon, yeah.
Still couldn't beat Ireland, though, could you? You still couldn't beat the Irish.
Where did you get in the end?
We actually got to a quarterfinals, but you couldn't beat us in the group stages, could you?
Well, we made the semi-finals, so that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, but we still beat you in '88.
You cling on to that. When you're there, you cling on to your '88.
We're going to cling on to that.
Blanket.
I'm going to cling on to that as much as I bloody like.
That's all we have
Even
to
Carl says,
cling on to into the World Cups.
bloody Ray Houghton again, yeah, that's it. We did beat you in '88. We are going to cling on to that. And rightly so. My first World Cup, 1982. I remember it. Just remember that Brazilian side of Socrates and Zico and players like that lit up the World Cup. And they should have won it, to be fair. But they played an Italian side with a man called Paolo Rossi, who done nothing in the first 3 games, but ended up being top goal scorer, scored a hat-trick against Brazil, scored a goal in the last. Hello, Josh. Everyone keeps jumping. Everyone keeps jumping for some reason. Streamy, I'll get your act together. So yeah, that's my World Cup. Guys.
Oh.
And now Nick's just left you and me now. This podcast has really fell apart.
Yes, but you should probably kick her out.
I didn't kick anyone out. Right.
No, the StreamYard probably booted.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening. StreamYard's having a mare.
I'm going to get
We're playing the Okie Kokie.
No, my internet dipped. Sorry, dear. My Wi-Fi dipped.
That's okay. Look, we're going to finish off this management podcast. I've really enjoyed it. We will do a proper World Cup podcast on next Thursday or after the season's finished, where we're going to get all the guys' predictions. Me, Nick, Jess, and Stacey. We are going to get all the predictions, but I want to leave you with a question, guys, in the chat. I want you to name me and put it in the comment section as well. What was your greatest World Cup player ever you saw and the best World Cup game you ever seen? Jess, I'd start with you. This is sort of like a bonus question, guys, so get you involved as well. Well, who is the best World Cup player you've ever seen and the best World Cup game you ever saw?
R9 for Brazil. Probably that France-Italy game where Zidane had put Italian play. You know what you want to do though, Dom, as well? If you're doing like World Cup, right? You want to do a show, get everybody involved, and like bring all the teams up and go through each team, like best.
Yeah,
best
that's what.
Yeah, a bit like that. That might be interesting to do.
Yeah, we will do that. We'll definitely do it. I'll put that together. I'll talk about it behind. We'll work together on that because that would be good. So
Yeah,
you're going for Ronaldo, R9, and Italy versus France, the 2006 World Cup final?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Is that when Zidane headbutted the player in the chest?
Mm-hmm.
For some reason. I'm going to go to the baby of the group because he's probably going to pick Messi and probably the last World Cup as the baby of the group. So go on, Josh. Messi or Ronaldo?
I'm so strapped for time. Not time, but how old I am.
I tell you what, just pay this lad a compliment. This young, maybe young, but he's got old head on young shoulders. He really, and he's a smashing lad as well. Knows his football, knows what he's talking about. So big up, Josh. I got a lot of time for you. You're a great young lad. Credit to everyone that knows you, Bob. But yeah, best World Cup player and your most best World Cup game you ever saw.
Can you come back to me? I can't think.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Nick, the best World Cup player you ever saw.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I can really do that. I've got there's a player that stands out in my mind. He's not the greatest, but just
okay, then who stands out in your mind then?
Miriam Closer. I remember that nobody knew who he was, and he just turned up and got the golden boot, and it was just like out of the blue. And I love it when there's a player that's on nobody's radar, and then there's like a flash of lightning, and it's like, wow, now the whole world knows who you are. That Brazilian team around, the 94, 98, all of that sort of stuff, the French player, it was just like, of course, when we're talking about R9 and you're talking about people like Roberto Carlos or Henri Vieira in that French team and others, I've just said the Arsenal players, but there was some amazing Zidane, and that French team was just like but as an actual game, I can't really pluck one out for you, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Look, Josh, have you thought of anyone yet, or do you want to go last, bud?
I'd probably say Messi or Ronaldo. Probably.
Okay, yeah, I understand it's probably a bit difficult for you. I get that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Well, what would yours be, Dermo?
Well, look, I because
What
I feel
England
like
side
granddad.
would you like?
I feel like I'm. Yeah, well, I feel like I'm Uncle Albert or granddad of this podcast.
During the war.
During the 1930 and 1998 World Cup conflict with the rest of the world, I've got two players in my head, right? Maradona, for me, probably the greatest player that's ever walked a football pitch. I think he's better than Pele. I think he's better than Georgie Best. Though Georgie Best, probably for me, is the greatest UK player ever to come out of the United Kingdom, and Irish as well, the best Northern Irish player. I would probably I'm stuck. I was, as a young kid, I was so lucky. I had Zico, we had Platini. You had the great French side of the 80s of Michel Platini, of that side that won the 84 European Championships. You had the Brazil side of 82 of Zico and Socrates and all them great players. I think for me, the greatest player I ever saw play was Maradona in 1986. How he took a nation that should have really won the World Cup, and he took it upon his own shoulders and dragged the Argentinian side to World Cup glory in 86. Whatever you think about the first goal against England, handball, hand of God, whatever, the second goal he scored was probably the greatest goal ever to be scored in the World Cup.
For us to overlook the handball by Maradona is like you overlooking the handball by Thierry Henry.
Yeah. But the second
goal.
So
if you can say now that you forgive Thierry Henry and you totally moved on from it,
hell no.
Maybe exactly. So it's a bit of a hard accept on.
I know, I get it, but if you just take the second goal for what it is, Nick, it was probably the greatest goal ever scored in the World Cup. I mean, played on the pitch, by the way. Let me remind people, that was not like the pitches of today. Them pitches were falling apart, and Maradona was a little squat man, as the commentator called him back then. And he went by players like Terry Butcher, players like that. And I think the greatest game, I would have to go back to the Republic of Ireland versus Romania, round of 16, the penalty shootout that sent Ireland to a quarter-final against Italy. Ireland qualified for the first major tournament in 1990, and I was a young kid at the time. It was like the greatest thing ever. We had Euro 88. Now Jack Charlton's taken us to the promised land. It's taken us to the World Cup.
Mm.
And we drew with England. We drew with, I think we drew with Egypt. And we drew with Holland. And we played Romania. And everyone expected us, Romania, to win. There are players like Hadji, who was a best player to come out of Romania in my book. And David O'Leary, ex-Arsenal star, pops up with the 5th penalty, and then was thinking, what the hell? And he scores it, sends us into a quarter-final against Italy. Yes, we lost it against Scalacci, and the goal he scored. Italy went on to lose to Argentina in the semi-final, but that for me was the greatest ever. As a young kid for me, as a young fan.
I mean, on if you're talking about our stuff, my one for me, I know we got to a final, we've got to a semi-final recently.
Yeah.
And it's not the World Cup, but Euro 96 for me was magical. It really was.
Yeah.
It was kind of like from the David Seaman save that against Switzerland in the first round to the penalty save and the Gaza goal in the most remarkable sequence I've ever seen.
Is that when they
Against
did
Scotland.
They went on the back.
Done the drinking chair.
Yeah.
And then we got the win against Holland 4-2. We took them apart 4-1 or whatever it was. Couldn't believe it. And then got past Spain, and then it was just a couple of more inches on Gaza's boot, and we would have been in the final. That was the magical tournament for me.
Look, there will be a podcast about our greatest World Cup games. I'm sure Jess has got plenty she'd like to talk about. I know Josh will probably be banging on about Ronaldo and Messi. Look, Ronaldo and Messi are probably your generation, Josh, is like for me watching Platini and Maradona in my generation. And then, of course, Jess and Nick have R9, the original R9, and other players like that were so great. I mean, what does the World Cup mean to you guys? Last question on this. What does the World Cup mean to you personally? Jess, I'll start with you. What does the World Cup mean to you?
I'm not as invested in international football as I am in club football, but it does mean a lot pride-wise, doesn't it? Everybody always gets geared up for it in England, or flags are out. Thing. I just want to see England do well. Not a lot to ask, but they're going with it with no pressure, so let's see how they do. But it does mean a lot. It's a sacrificial, and everybody looks at the calendar for that. Euros. Hopefully, I enjoy it because I like to watch all different teams. I like to scout and see what players are about. So it's going to be interesting for the next 6 weeks. Busy.
Yeah, and also, if England don't win it, who's your pick for the World Cup?
Spain.
Oh, interesting. Nick, same question you, Bod. Last question on this podcast. What does the World Cup mean to you, and who's your pick for the tournament?
I've always got that sort of romanticized view of the World Cup, and I've got to say, with the grubbiness, as I don't know if it's maturity as you grow older and all the rest of it, realizing what FIFA is and what it's become and everything else that's behind it, really does take that sort of gleam off of it. But it is a time, you remember, it's summer days, it's football, it's time together, it's beers, it's barbecues, it's kind of everybody, talking, and that whole sort of community gets heightened. That's the sort of thing that England means to me. It's great. It brings unity for a change, it's that good vibes. So that's kind of what the World Cup means to me. And who do I think will win it? Spain and France are the obvious two. I'm not going to be obvious, because I think France have got an immense. Just think they've got Doué, Dembele, and Mbappe that's bloody scary. And then you've got Spain, who are Spain, and I'm just going to say Portugal is my dark horses.
I don't know. Right. Can anyone hear me? Because I don't know if my earpods just died.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, I can hear you now. All right. Who did you pick, Josh, again? Sorry, my earpod just dropped out, bud.
Just Nick, not me.
Nick, sorry.
It was you, Josh. Don't tell lies. I went for after a bit, but I said about France, I said about Spain, and I said, but I'm just going to be different, and I'm going to say Portugal.
Interesting. That is interesting. Josh, for you, mate, what does World Cup mean to you as a young fan? And who's your pick for the World Cup?
I think it's just seeing the hope of seeing England win it. Obviously, I was born when we previously won it, but it's just the hope that we'll actually get it across the line, and that, for me to see it.
Yeah,
it's just the unity between, regardless if you're an Arsenal fan or Tottenham fan, whatever. It's just the unity, everyone coming together, bias aside, rivalry aside, just supporting England and stuff like that. It's just the unity that comes together and just having a great time with other English people, regardless of what team they support.
Yeah, like I can get behind Reece James. You know, I haven't got to worry about it's just getting behind your team and your boys and all the rest of it. Yeah, I like absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer, Josh. To be fair, who's your pick for the World Cup, bud?
I'm going to go Spain.
Spain. The World Cup for me means I've always loved the World Cup. Just as a small kid, sitting in front of my small telly, watching like Maradona or '82, watching Northern Ireland beat Spain with what was his name? He used to play for Tottenham. He played for Watford as well. Jerry Armstrong, who I used to live next to when we used to live in St Albans when we were small. It's just seeing the little nations do well. Ireland get to a quarter-final of a World Cup, or somebody just springing a surprise that we never thought. You had Nigeria in '94. You had Bulgaria as well, reaching the semi-final in '94. You had Croatia reaching the semi-final in '98. That they could have been in the final. Watching little teams like that do well, and there's going to be so many little teams in this World Cup, DR Congo, and you just wish one of them might just be a surprise, reach a quarterfinals or beat a big team. South Korea reaching their semi-finals, their World Cup, beating Italy, I think, as well on the way to that. So that's what the World Cup. I love it. I love the World Cup. The World Cup for me is absolutely magical. It's a month of just a festival of football. And yes, on this channel, we will be covering the World Cup. And yes, I will be doing England watch-alongs. I know I'm Irish and we didn't qualify, but most of my subscribers are English. So it would be rude of me not to follow and not to do England watch-alongs. So there will be on this channel, guys. And we will be doing joint watch-alongs with Jess as well, over JY Stocks Football. And we both will fall asleep if England start playing Arsenal football. My tip for the tournament, I don't believe I'm going to say this, but I think Argentina might win it, actually. And Argentina have never won the World Cup back-to-back. There you go. There's my tip. I want to say big up to Jess as well, who gifted 2 memberships. One went to Scott M, and the other one went to a young individual. I can't remember his name now. I couldn't find it, but big up to Jess as well. And we're going to end on this. Carl says, it didn't hit Henri's hand. It hit his knee. Don't know what these Irish fans are on about. Well, Carl, if you're going down this route, then I'm going to leave you with this little bit of a nugget. Maradona's first goal didn't come off his hand. It came off the little bit of his curly hair. So I don't know what you're complaining about and why Peter Shilton did not just bash him out of the way. He was a bigger man, a bigger frame. Why did he just push him out of the way when they come out? Always got me. When I see that goal, I'm expecting Peter Shilton to come out and just literally run over Maradona. He was a genius of what he did. Before I get any hate on this video, yes, it was handball. I do agree. I'm just messing with Carl. But guys, that is your Emotionally podcast, North London Talks Football. Josh is about to collapse down to his chest and sink quicker than the Titanic. Jess is now going to go and see Tuchel. And as Stacey has him tied up and ready to interrogate him why he's picked certain players. And Nick is planning and plotting a full takeover of the Premier League to send Manchester City down as quicker as he possibly can and evaluate Tottenham into Champions League football. Jess, do you want to plug your channel before we go?
Everybody knows where I'm at. You want to join me? I'm over at JSY Talks Football. But more important, let's get Derm to 3K. Make sure we're subbing and liking to Derm's channel. He deserves to be where he is. He's a good man.
Thank you so much. You're very kind. Thank you. And Nick, do you want to plug the football takeover? And again, congratulations. I'm really pleased for you and Bobby and Brenny.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
People who I've got a much respect for, by the way. I like them very much. And Jess as well. Do go over to Jess's channel. It's a brilliant channel. Somewhere where I feel at home going on there, especially when Celtic are playing Rangers or Celtic playing Hull, which was a funny watch along in itself. Especially the Motherwell game. Which the look on Stacey's face when we got Jess's face when we got a penalty in that game was priceless. Me going ballistic.
Oh, yeah. Head and we get hand. What is it with you and hands there? Hands of God, Argentina. It's something revolving round, in it, with you and hands.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I love my hands. Yeah, do you want to give the football takeover a plug? And you are going to the parade, so do you want to give that a bit of a plug of where people can meet up with you, bud, and talk to you?
No, well, I mean, the parade's only going to be Arsenal fans. So, the football takeover, we are predominantly Arsenal, but we do talk all sorts of rubbish and football. So you can find us over there. Yeah, that's it. I am going to be at the Emirates on the 31st with my son to see the trophy be paraded. So, yeah, and just, everyone stay happy, healthy and safe. And please subscribe to Dermot.
Yeah, no, thank you. Subscribe to the other channels as well. They're great channels. And Josh, do you want to plug a channel, bud? Is there anything you want to plug, or do you want to plug Man United's?
No, I'm not on any channels, but Jettas. So,
yeah. Are you having a Champions League parade, Manchester United, down to Manchester this year?
No. No.
You're brave asking those questions, Dermot.
No.
He's got chest. I really don't.
I don't know.
Are you having the relegation parade?
Damn well, we're going to have one. If we survive on Sunday, which we will, by the way, we're going to have a parade down the high road. We're going to have bunting. We're going to have balloons. We're going to have celebrations. Of course we are.
So just stayed up.
And if you get relegated, next year's North London derby's against Charlton Athletic. Gosh.
Oh, Lord.
Games against Lincoln as well. Lincoln away.
All right.
On the Disney Channel.
Cole has a thing about me predicting stuff because he says I curse people, so I curse the team. So he gets angry with me when I start saying
North London, Brighton.
Oh, you know me. I like a bit of fun. Guys, you do have a gaming channel, so do get over to our boys Stop Gaming. There is going to be a review of the new Lego Batman game, which I started playing last night. Absolutely fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. So there will be a review, and on Forza 6 as well. So look at that in the next few days. But guys, that is it. That is your North London Talks Football Emergency podcast. Tuchel has picked his 26 to go to the USA. Can they bring home the trophy? 60 years after 66. Is it all over? Thankfully, it is now.